you are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Welcome back to the Code Rad Show. Today, we are going to bring you the action. At least I am going to bring you the action. I think Jim might have something different in mind. But if you are in the mood for an action-packed return to the 1980s, stick around a bit, and I have just what you need. Jim, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Nice to be here once again. And I'll be doing my stuff is kind of more water acquainted. But I'll be covering another famous character that everybody knows. So yeah. See, Action Comics. Actually, that's one of my favorite titles growing up.
Yeah. I found an issue I was dying to read, so I just decided to incorporate that into the episode. Why don't I go first then this time? Lately I have been, I follow so many comic book oriented, and there it is. I follow so many comic book oriented social media accounts that I frequently, they will show a cover of something and I'll be like, wow, that is just such a cool cover. And it's hard to get around to reading all these things, but I thought, well, I can incorporate it into the show. So here is, one of those covers I saw somewhere, 75-cent cover price, September 85, Action Comics, and an amazing Brian Boland's cover of
Indeed.
Clark Kent.
I actually had that issue.
Oh, really?
I had it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't that into Superman at this time. I would buy an issue if I saw it on the shelf, but I didn't seek it out or anything. And I never saw this cover before a few weeks ago. And Clark Kent is blowing a circuit. Beautiful Brian Boland's cover. I said that already. How could you not want to find out what's going on in this comic book? They have one of Dick Giordano's columns in the back. He talks about Crisis on Infinite Earths, how that's coming together, to give a little bit of context of where this issue is in the timeline. Of course, a massive overhaul of Superman was coming down the pike in a few years, which
Yes.
when I was thinking about this, I was wondering, was John Byrne's Man of Steel, was that like the first major reboot of a character like that ever done?
I would say yes, at least one of them. Because I'd say one of the, I don't know if it was the first, but definitely one of the biggest. They made a lot of changes, but I think luckily they were all. I think most of the changes I think they made were all for the better. But
Definitely. For the time, I loved the reboot. I mean, now I have different feelings, but at the time, I wasn't into like multicolored kryptonite and Crypto the dog, as a teenager, superpowered dogs and all the Superboy, all that stuff. I thought it was great how he just he just swept all that stuff away.
Yes.
He even kind of like downgraded Superman's powers. He wasn't quite, so godlike anymore. And as a teenager, I loved it. For the time, I thought that was an awesome choice. Now I kind of appreciate the whole Silver Age kind of aesthetic, view of superheroes more. I like all the different colors of kryptonite and crypto and all that stuff. But so here we go. We have two worlds. Here we have a scientist on Earth, who's making some neoplasmic soup, and she's, very modest. She's going to add a dash of spice and a pinch of genius, and to make her primeval static electricity. That sounds pretty cool. And the guy on the right is a biomechanic scientist on another planet. This is, happening simultaneously. This scientist on Earth has just made a living protoplasm. Thresher, who's on another planet, looks like that guy from the Doom Patrol. What's that guy's name?
Robot Man.
Robot Man. Yeah, looks a lot like Robot Man to me, at least.
He does. Yeah, he does.
So he is doing something kind of a bioregenerative, regenerative silicon compounds, and he has a breakthrough. Just as our scientist on Earth creates a big green blob that escapes from the lab, and Superman, of course, detects this out of control green blob and comes to rescue. Our scientist is already knocked out. I mean. So, yeah, he has to rescue her already. I mean, comic books were different in the 80s. Superman's choice of words here is interesting. I can pop this woman out of here like a cork from a bottle.
It's like, okay.
And it gets even better in a minute because...
What?
Yeah. All right. So, freezing breath to freeze this green blob our scientists created. I doubt I don't know if the John Byrne Superman would have had ice breath.
Did he? I don't know if he did.
No, I'm not. Yeah, maybe he may have. But
Elliot S. Magan. Okay, I know his stuff.
Yeah,
and Alex Saviuk. Yeah, he worked on Spider-Man. Alex Saviuk.
Okay, Elliot S. Magan. I mean, I love the exclamation points after the S. That's awesome. Alex Saviuk, I'm surprised that name was not really in my, not someone I was looking for as a comic book reader, but I think the art in this is awesome. So Dave Hunt, inker, I don't know how much of it is due to him, but just a great looking comic book. I think the art is amazing. And so, I mean, this page on its own, you have, the great blob. Oh, here's our scientist's legs. Oh, and I just noticed the blob is stuck to the bottom of her feet like a big green piece of gum.
Oh,
Superman rescues her. And then this is probably the highlight of the comic book. Can one of you administer mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to Dr. Herman here? And this guy steps right up. I can. And
it's like, yes, they're always saying, yep.
Me.
Right here.
And Superman's like, great. just drops her off in the stranger's hands to do mouth to mouth so he can go back and fight the blob. So, and so of course this bio blob is not a match for Superman, even though he kind of destroys the building. Our scientist, but ours. Not the whole building, but he knocks out a big part of it. I think it's going to have to be condemned now. And he carries a blob out up to, near the Fortress of Solitude. So now all of a sudden, I think maybe Elliot S. Magan is, he is channeling the blob. It's just like, the movie, the Steve McQueen movie, The Blob. Take this thing to have it frozen up in the Arctic.
Yes.
Yeah, and so our scientist is not very sympathetic. You don't need to really read the dialogue here. She is yelling at Clark Kent like she knows. Yeah, she is not happy. I guess Clark Kent had run some kind of expose on her previously, so she is angry. Even though obviously Superman just saved her, maybe even saved the world. Who knows what would go on if he hadn't frozen that blob. Then on our other planets, light years away, our bio robot scientist has invented something which I don't really understand what it is, and I don't think it's all that necessary. But of course, he travels to Earth, and so our military looking at the radar and stuff. Sir, there's a blip over the Arctic, but it's gone. Oh, probably just Superman doing his morning workout again. But Superman sees this thing from another planet, and it's our robot friends. And so Superman and this robot are together. We're starting to lead up to our amazing cover image. So our scientist woman is flying off to Copenhagen, the land of the Nobel Prize. I think she just decided she deserves a Nobel Prize, and she's going there to get it one way or another. And
those groceries.
yeah. I need to rent a car with a lot of trunk space. I'm not exactly sure, because these are and there's here, this panel up here top left kind of shows her personality. She refuses to. She has all these bags around here on the airplane, and when the stewardess asks her to do something with them, we're about to land, and oh yeah, sure, yeah, whatever, if you show me a way to subvert the laws of physics. So she's one of those people on the airplane. Blocks the aisle for like 15 minutes while she's settling into her chair when everyone's trying to get on the plane, and then has taking up all the room. So I guess she is definitely the villain, and she's like one of the most annoying villains ever in comic books, as you can see. So Superman just meets this random robot who does it because of this phase change of transporting from his home planet, doesn't have a memory. And so Superman figures, well, here is this alien robot with amnesia, can't tell me anything about himself. I know what I'll do. I'll make him be my double. And this is, of course, is from the era where Clark Kent was a news reporter. I do remember reading a few comic books from this era and thinking, oh, yeah, this is weird. They decided to mix things up, I guess, a bit to have Clark Kent be on TV. Kind of a questionable career choice, I would think, for a secret identity. But I don't think that era lasted all that long. But, of course, this is not even Clark Kent. He decides that this robot that just landed on Earth, I'm going to have him be my body double. And so here we have some classic comic book social commentary. The robotic Clark Kent has to interview a metropolis politician who is the politician's policies and his views on economics and everything are so ridiculous it makes the Clark Kent robot head explode, literally.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
That is cool. It's awesome. I mean, so that is the highlight. And so our scientist ends up in jail. Our Clark Kent comes up with some BS story to explain about how the robot was one of Superman's pet projects, and it was the beta version. It blew up. It's all right. Oh, and here, I don't know. She's doing something with a puppy. That's never good when you have scientists experimenting on puppies. Wow. Yeah. So, but then we'll wrap things up. He's got airport filled with very Scandinavian looking people. Here's I guess a Danish guy, blonde hair, mustache, the watch cap, the turtleneck sweater and everything. He's probably just came off the fishing boat to go to the airport. Here the scientist is blowing something bad on the people. I'm not even sure what, but Superman grabs her, puts her in jail, uses his super breath, I guess, to blow away that powder that the scientist was blowing on all of them. Oh, and even to stop her from escaping, stops the damn plane. That would not be risky at all. I think people maybe you would
neck.
Just wait until the plane lands to arrest her. And and so then our robot friend returns to his planet, rescues his planet, because that's what he was doing in the first place. And just a great little vignette from the life of Superman and some alien robot. Nothing major, nothing that's going to change the universe. course, that's coming in a few years with Crisis on Infinite Earths, but pretty low stakes, fun, a clash of worlds of different civilizations coming together. But yeah, just a fun little comic book, a lot of imagination, pretty much entirely self-contained story. Nice little time capsule of what Superman was up to back in the 1980s. So yeah, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Jim, as you bring
Okay,
us
so
to the dark depths.
yes, indeed. So well, let's see. So here's a character that doesn't really get much well, I think he's getting a little more love now. Let's see. Hold on one moment. Just bear with me a minute.
Yes, we will wait as get in the submersible, go down to the depths of the ocean.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
All right. Okay. I think, yeah, we're getting close to Atlantis now. Let's see. I think I gotta click that, and there we go. Oh, and it's an Alex Ross rendition of Aquaman.
Exactly. Today, yes, one of my favorite heroes of all time, Aquaman. Most folks that know me know I'm a pretty big Aquaman fan. I've got a pretty big collection of Aquaman stuff. Let's see. So yeah, here's a really nice painting by Alex Ross. So Aquaman is created by Paul Norris and Mort Weisinger in the 1940s. Oops, hang on a second. Sorry about that. That's the wrong slide.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Let's try that again.
Yeah. Indie Gotham.
Try again. Nope. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, so
no problem.
Their competition at the time was let's see, a company called Timely Comics, which would eventually become, as you see here on the cover, Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And Marvel had a very successful character called the Submariner. And contrary to popular belief, some people think that Aquaman came first, but actually it's the other way around. The Submariner debuted in 1939, and we see him here in a pretty early cover. I don't remember him growing quite that big, but there he is.
No, we're taking a mallet to Manhattan, but yeah, I mean, I think most comic book fans probably aware of Submariner's somewhat problematic history with the human race, and here is a great metaphorical depiction of what Submariner would do to humanity. It'd be forgotten and forgiven by the next issue, but yeah, that is fantastic.
That the planes are shooting at him, and just like very King Kong-esque.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, the city apparently looks like it's blowing up. City's on fire. It's like, I know what can use to put it out: a hammer.
Yeah.
So Aquaman appeared in More Fun Comics number 73, and this issue actually had several debuts. It was the first appearance of Dr. Fate, as we can see here.
Oh, nice.
The first appearance of Green Arrow, and also the first appearance of Aquaman. Let's see.
Wow.
And here he is, the first splash page from 1941. He took on, like most folks or most heroes during the early 40s, they would take on Nazis, and there's two of them right there. Let's see.
Yeah.
And his costumes doesn't really change that much. The letter A, I think originally he had an A, but I think that would kind of get changed to kind of something that more looked like the Star Trek insignia, I guess.
Right. Yeah, stylized A.
I feel like a new man up here. Let's see. One thing, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but one of his earlier appearances, he threw a polar bear at people. So I think that's pretty badass right there. When you throw a polar bear at somebody, that's pretty, that's pretty terrifying. Let's see. So they basically printing throughout the 50s. Here's an appearance from Adventure Comics, probably mid 50s, say, probably here.
No, hubba hubba.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
that's the
very
first time
cool.
I ever saw Aqua Girl, I think.
Let's see. They kept him around. This is very interesting. This I didn't know. So this cover, apparently, this is the first cover. Even though Aquaman has been around since 1941, he didn't actually show up on the cover until this issue.
Where is he? Is that him with the green pants?
Yep, yep.
Being
He's
held by
right
Starro
there.
there?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, you could barely, recognize him, but yeah, I mean, that's Justice League #1, right?
It's close. Brave and the Bold, number 28.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
so Julie Schwartz, he basically want to take the concept of Justice Society and take it further. And he figured, we got, little leagues, our audience is mostly kids. So, what do kids do? Well, little league baseball. So let's make it, that society just sounds like something
Mm,
like from a very snooty party. So let's
okay.
change it. Let's make it a league.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, this is the first ever cover he was ever on, despite being around for maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. And a few years later, he actually got adapted for a cartoon show done by Filmation, the folks that did Fat Albert and He-Man and other
Mm,
shows.
mhm.
But he wasn't their first choice. I think they wanted to do. They already had done the previous year. They did cartoons for Superman, and wasn't their first choice. But DC went to them and said, "Can you do a series for Aquaman?" I'm like, "Sure." So I
Yeah.
think they weren't really thrilled,
Yeah.
but they did a really great job. I still love watching these to this day.
Okay. Yeah.
And here's another shot from the series. There's Aqualad, and there's Imp, Aqualad's horse.
Cool.
Let's see. And it wasn't too long, thanks to the cartoon show. Now Aquaman had merchandising. Here's do you know this series, Captain Action? Basically, you would buy this like doll that was about 12, like about a foot high, and you'd buy
Mm.
these suits to dress them up as other superheroes, like Batman, Spider-Man was one of them, Captain America was one of them, but one of them was for Aquaman.
No,
And here it is.
yeah. Yeah, I never saw this before.
Yeah, really nice shape. Yeah, they're very,
Oh, yeah.
very expensive. Yeah, especially that one
Yeah.
that's in
Mhm.
the box and looks in really nice shape. Um, let's see. And he even had other things like puzzles. Starts a little small, but yeah. Um, so he was becoming a household name. Um, we would see him later. I think now this is probably most people their first exposure to the character. I think it was probably mine. He was a mainstay on the show Super Friends with Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, yeah,
Or by
Super Friends,
Hanna-Barbera.
that was probably one of my first exposures to superheroes. Maybe the Batman TV show, maybe the very first. But yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
I
I
think.
watched Super Friends a lot as a kid.
Yeah, no, same here. And I think this may be the first time I saw Aquaman. I'm not sure, but
Probably, yeah.
probably wasn't here. He was doing sort of in the 70s. They're kind of really cracking down on animated violence, so cartoons got really dumbed down.
Mm.
Like in the 60s, you could punch people, fire a gun, but in the 70s,
Mhm.
not anymore. You couldn't do either one of those.
Mm.
So they kind of dumbed down and made them more of like the moral of today's story is. And here we have it doing some sort of PSA or something here with two paper plates at a party. Wow, you wild man, you. Let's see. Fast forward later, and the character had kind of, his popularity was waning, but I think people still knew that name. And so DC wanted to keep him. So Peter David gave him a
Mhm.
pretty big makeover. He kind of became more of like a
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian of the oceans. And here he is. He lost his hand, thanks to some
Yeah.
piranha. So he had to get
Mm-hmm.
a hook.
Yep.
But I'd say people. I think for years he was kind of a joke, but I think he's done pretty well for himself. As we know, the movie did very, very well. The movie made over $1 billion, which I don't think anyone saw that coming. Like I didn't. It's just funny
Yeah.
how the
Yeah.
movie did so well. Um, I think we're kind of seeing why. I think a lot of women love this guy, and I like him too. I think he's probably a big factor
Mm-hmm.
of why it did so well, and even has some theme park rides, as I got to see firsthand last year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's in Georgia.
That's actually in Texas, and
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The
Arlington. Yeah, it
Dallas,
was 100 degrees that
Arlington.
day, but
Yeah.
yeah, it
No,
was a very
perfect.
hot day.
Yeah.
But the splash felt so good. Um, let's see here. So the story I picked for today is a little different. Not one you would expect. Here we go. It's from a series called. Just bear with me. Where are you? Bizarro Comics. It was basically two
Oh,
specials
yep.
that DC did that put in more
Cool.
like humorous and bizarre,
Mm-hmm.
bizarre stories featuring the DC characters. And this one has Aquaman. We see him in a subway station with a guitar case. Um, so not quite what we're used to, but
Yeah.
we see him. Here comes the roar of the subway. He gets in. The moment I start heading for the bar, I think, why am I doing this? I got queasy. I mean, late nights when I sit around writing songs about my ex-girlfriend, this vision, how magical it would feel to be on stage. Yo, green tights! Playing the song, my heart full of the power of music, some adoring girl on the other side at me, feeling vindicated. Yo! So it's kind of hard to see here, but there's somebody calling out to him. But when it comes to actually leaving the house and going over there to play the song, I just want to stay home, order some Thai food, and wallow. Yo, green tights, you listening? Huh? Hey, do you know Batman? It's a goldfish that's calling out to him in the subway. So he makes his way to this club he's playing at. Starts getting a little blurry up there, but just like me. Except a couple tourists who've inexplicably stumbled in. Take your enigmatic response to be that of a man overwhelmed by the sheer majesty of my comic onslaught. Murray, I think pretty much everybody but me heard nothing but a series of bleats and clicking. It's a free jazz thing, my friend. Ooh, it's blurry. Sorry about that. Let's try to do the best we can here. The worst part is when you get up there and play. So what's doing, fellas? You're looking at it. Murray, maybe I'll try comedy night. The anxiety just gets slightly more urgent with every something. Sorry. It starts to snowball. You don't get it, Sammy. This is my niche. Why be one comic loser among a horse of loser comics when I can be a unique loser in amongst a horde of loser musicians? Let's see. So he's waiting and waiting, waiting to get on stage. You see this guy with that thing. We see a squid with a ukulele, because why not? Damn, just keep his strategy. He's waiting and he's waiting and he's waiting and he's waiting. Oops. Bear with me here, folks. Yeah, I gotta apologize, everyone. Google Slides was not cooperating tonight for whatever reason, so I'm doing this. But
yeah, it's fine.
No matter the obstacle, we're still going to do our best. Now it's finally his turn on stage. He's finally up on stage, and this awkward silence. I think sometimes just, even though they're not being said, look at all this, the stares in their eye, like just the stares.
Yeah. Rough audience.
Mirror, mirror, why do I scare you? Locked down in my area, you ghoulishly staring. Oh yeah, I've never have a. Oh snap! It's the boy wonder. What's happening, people? Oh no! What's happening, Chief? You mind if I get on the mic? Thanks. Just grabs it. He just pushes him out of the way. Yo, boy wonder, what's Aquaman really like? You
Ah,
want to
Robin.
know about Batman? Huh? Well, let me tell people one good thing. Who's gonna let me a guitar so as I can rock you? Why?
Mm.
Why? So Wonder Woman asks, "What did you do last night, Aquaman?" And stupid Aquaman has to say, "Oh, I did open mic night." And smug little Wonder Woman goes, "Ooh, fun! An open mic. Maybe sometime I'll go. Hi. I wish they had let you finish your song. I really dug it. I am. I mean, thanks. Mind if I join you? Your
Mhm.
voice is so lovely. Do you sing professionally? Oh, come on. Does she really not know? No, no. I fight crime and stuff. This is just my release. Well, you're very sexy when you sing. So okay, maybe things are starting to turn around for old Arthur.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, this should be. They're in a Chinese restaurant basically, and there's he can hear them
Right. Okay,
speaking
yeah, yeah.
Chinese.
Mhm.
That's kind of very cool.
Yeah, yeah, eels in the
I keep
tank.
thinking I should. Yeah, I thought that was a very cool, cool touch there.
Mhm.
I keep thinking I should invent the black box recorder of love because every time I break up with Mara, weeks pass, and I start thinking, she was sweet, nostalgia, very dangerous. Yes, I need something I can replay the whole time and relative. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. You go back to her? Yeah, that's better. Yes, so I need something on which I can replay the whole disaster of a relationship to remember before you go back to her. Yeah. Um, I live right around the corner. How can a lousy evening turn around just like that? It's amazing. Can I get you a glass of water or something? Yeah, water. Water's great, sure. Oh, I have orange juice. Orange juice? Nah, water's good. I can't believe you have this. Wow, Tony Millionaire, Sam Henderson, Michael Kupperman, and oh, isn't that weird? My mom needle pointed that to me when I was 4. I was really sick, hospitalized. It seemed like a vacation to me, just being able to lay in bed and watch Super Friends all day. But my mom was worried I was going to die. Yeah, I used to totally be into the dynamic duo. Oh, it's witty. I've got lots of crime fight in the morning. It's like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. How could it be any other way? Well, I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah, yeah.
Roommate isn't home. Too late. Hey, you seen him, living freak? Ha ha ha. Aw, he knows I love him, don't you, weirdo? Hey, cutie, you want to see my basketball? Oh man. What the? Oh yeah. He. It's like, yeah, we can guess what they're doing because we can all we know we know. He sings, and that's it.
Hmm.
Same gun
So
the
yeah,
subway. So I thought, yeah, maybe
right.
not what people may have expected, but I thought that was not what you thought, but I was like, this is so unusual. His one's it's a struggling guitar player. I'm gonna pick this one and just show it to people because I think a lot of people don't know that story. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think I may have seen that book, but yeah, never had it, never read it. Yeah, I was gonna say, some lower rungs of the DC universe in Greenwich Village, but of course, this would be more like Metropolis. I wonder, have we ever seen like a Greenwich Village neighborhood of Metropolis
I
portrayed?
don't think so.
I mean, who knows? There's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of comic books out there with Metropolis in it. So I obviously haven't read
Yeah.
them all. I wonder if there is, a community of bohemians and singer-songwriters and poets and beatniks and whatnot somewhere lurking. Yeah, that would have been perfect for like Silver Age Superman.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they probably I know in Marvel they did the coffee bean where Peter Parker and Mary Jane would hang out. But DC, I don't
Oh,
think so.
really?
I think they're kind of too square for that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. Maybe like red kryptonite could turn Superman into a beatnik.
there you go.
Yeah,
Should do that. Submit that to DC. Should yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I like to say plaid kryptonite. Just makes you Scottish, makes you curse. It's just Plaid Kryptonite. So yeah, yeah, I wasn't sure which story to do, but I thought, yeah, I hope you guys like that because I thought that was very interesting. The kind of balance of weird humor and just yeah, basically just a totally different take on the character that I just wasn't expecting and wouldn't have ever have expected at all. But yeah,
For sure, for sure. Yeah. Very entertaining take on Aquaman. Yeah, and it makes me want to go out and get that issue. Was that issue one? Was that like a
no,
one
it's
shot?
actually part of a compilation. I can put it up again. It's Bizarro Comics. It's hold
Yeah.
on, let me bring it up back up again. Yeah, they did two of them. Did Bizarro.
Okay, that's what
Well,
I thought.
Matt
Maybe
Groening did the
two.
cover, and they did this one that has this story in it. Let me see. I'm looking for the cover. Bear with me a minute, folks. Going back. Going back. Come on. Bloody machine. There we go. Okay, let's share the screen again. Present. Share screen. Okay, you see that?
There we go. Yeah.
Bizarro World. That's a Bizarro World.
Bizarro World.
That's it. It might be on a print, but I definitely recommend it. It's great.
Yeah, great cover. Yeah, it seems familiar,
They're all,
but yeah.
they're all marionettes.
Yeah. Yeah. More and more now. Stories, superhero stories are some kind of either like reboot or take place in like a parallel universe that don't affect the mainstream continuity. And they do that especially with Superman and maybe Batman too. They're always coming up with some story outside the main continuity, which I think it's safe to say that this comic book is this Aquaman story. Although who knows, maybe it could just be what Aquaman is doing at night when he has some time off from the Justice League and ruling Atlantis and all that. Yeah. All right. Oh, thank you, Jim. That was very
again, and
yeah.
Sure.
That was entertaining and enlightening. And so yeah, we'll be back next week. Hopefully something a little different. Some obscure television from the 1980s, I think.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Maybe
yes.
some of you may have seen it, but I think most people have not. So
I have not. No.
All right. So we'll be back in a week. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
Everybody, take care. Bye.
Bye.